going to butcher this name.
Megan.
Kayon.
Oh, Kayon. I was like, she's not here. She's not here.
Megan,
Is this my signature?
these are your oaths of office. Okay. We have every board member on every.
It's
Too hot to leave in the car.
Can you read that?
Marnie?
Right, we don't need to talk about No,
And then the rest of these are not filled out
we
because
don't need
you
to talk
all
about
are
it here, but it's a,
Those were filled out.
We're veterans, huh?
I'm gonna need your name on this line and then a signature, please.
So if my name's spelled wrong, do you want me to just mark it out and spell it? Does it have to be, or?
That's why I brought these.
Okay.
he looks like he's in trouble. Sitting there by himself.
That's her next.
Wait,
We're live.
we're not yet.
We are on this. I pushed it. So the chair should call the meeting to order.
I'm the chair. Hold on just a second. It's not the chair.
Go
Okay.
ahead and get the oaths back from them.
Continue signing. So my advice was going to be, if she responds.
And everyone has a pen, correct?
This doesn't. We're sorry, but this doesn't involve.
Signed by, she's short.
So I'm looking, we did it.
Totally stuck it.
He's cheating off of mine.
I know. I was making sure, like,
That's all I need. The email.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right, you got it.
Send it to you first. Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you, though.
Thank you.
Calling of it to order, if you don't have.
Yes.
Just, somebody will have to do it.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
You're sitting in the middle.
You elected yourself. You got lucky.
So, I just say what it says on the paper, or?
I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
I'm sorry, you are.
Megan.
Do we do a roll call?
You do. Megan?
Here.
Kayon? Courtney?
Here.
Laney?
Nay.
Sorry. Lene? Marnie?
yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
JC?
We just go on to item 2.
Consideration and action on consent agenda. Minutes from June 3rd, 2020, regular meeting. Read all of that.
So if everything's okay with the consent agenda, if everybody, there's no problems and you don't have to do anything, if for some reason you wanted to discuss something that's on the consent agenda, you would say, I'd like to remove item A from the consent agenda so we could consider it in the next deal. But if everybody's cool with the minutes, if there's no discussion, then you just move on to item 3, which will be nothing, and then you go on to item 4.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Public appearances, petitions. What's that word?
We're going to take that word out. We're going to take that word.
Remonstrances.
Remonstrances, thank you. Communications and personal appearances. Under Oklahoma law, the board members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda.
At this point, you could ask if there's anybody present that wants to make a statement about something that's not on the agenda.
Would anybody like to make a statement that is not present?
And just move on.
Okay. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to elect a chairperson.
I bet I know who gets. Go ahead. Who wants to be chair? Do you guys
So
have to
you
vote?
can have discussion, and anyone who wants to can nominate anyone. You can nominate more, you can have more than one person nominate it.
I nominate Megan.
And it's, that's what you get for saying.
No.
Okay. Dustin, did you want to? No. Just a little shake of the head.
To nominate
Megan.
Megan.
Are there any other nominations?
you all slide under your desks.
So there's a
She's
motion.
okay with it, right?
Right? She's like,
She's fine. We kind of
I have
discussed
this
it.
piece. Megan.
Yes.
Courtney.
Yes.
Lene. Is that right? Yep. Marnie. Dustin. JC.
Yes.
Would make you the vice chairperson too.
Congratulations.
Just move on right on to item 6.
Consideration, discussion, and possible action to elect a vice chairperson.
Lene.
Was that a motion?
Nominate.
Nomination?
Nomination.
I want to be. I don't care if no, I mean. Unless you want to.
Courtney, did you second that?
Megan did.
Megan.
I don't know if I can, but yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to?
You sure you don't want to?
Do you want me to be?
Do you want me to be? Did you read what you have to do?
No.
Make sure Megan shows up, then you don't have to do anything.
Pretty much.
Do you? Just as much as you, probably.
So speak up a little bit probably so the microphone.
Who has the least amount on their plate right now?
No, I don't know if the recorder's on. The microphone is.
I'm new. Okay, we're all new. This is all brand new. It's nice.
Yeah, that's totally different than what we used to.
You want me to do it?
Power's on the side. Power's on the side, leave it in play.
Courtney do it? Okay.
Courtney's gonna do it. Someone nominate me.
I nominate Courtney,
Courtney.
I second that.
vice chair.
Okay.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
And nominate Courtney to be vice chair.
Megan nominated. Dustin second.
Thanks, Courtney.
Waiting for her.
Yeah, she'll call it.
Megan.
Yes.
Courtney.
Yes.
Laney.
Yes.
Lene.
Yes.
Marnie.
Yes.
Dustin.
Yes.
JC.
Yes.
Consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint Jean Hinkle as secretary to Parks and Recreation Board.
If everybody's good with that, you can discuss it or make a motion in a second to appoint her.
Make a motion to appoint Jean as the secretary.
Megan seconds.
Lene. And Megan. Perfect.
Open Meeting and Open Records Act training by city attorney.
So that's me. I'm Tammy Ewing. I'm the city attorney. Some of you have been to meetings recently that I've been to, where I've been, so you probably knew that. But this board, let me just start with, this board is an advisory board. And you have,
That's the other member.
oh, okay, let's see.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Hi. Do you know that she's here?
I will note it, yes.
Thank you, in the time. We're all learning.
Me too.
Okay, so I was just saying I'm the city attorney, and you are an advisory board, and your powers and duties are set out in the, by ordinance, and it says the Parks and well, in the charter and the ordinance, but the ordinance says the Parks and Recreation Board shall be an advisory board and shall have the right to consider any matter relating to public parks, playgrounds, and other recreational facilities, and to make recommendations thereon to the city and to others as may be appropriate. Now, I'm telling you that because those are your parameters to a certain extent, and I'm about to give you a bunch of other parameters, okay? So, and I'm going to start with the Open Meeting Act. The Open Meeting Act is a state statute, and basically is what you would call a sunshine law. It's something that purpose is so that the citizens of the city of Perkins can understand and be involved in the transaction of city business. They have the opportunity to watch all decisions being made, and they have the opportunity to make input into things that they care about. So there's really two parts to the Open Meeting Act. And the first one is a requirement that you hold all meetings of public bodies, which you are, that all decisions of public bodies be made at public meetings. Okay? That doesn't sound like it would be complicated, but it can be. And because the definition of meeting is kind of important. And I've kind of defined it, I put together a bunch of different ways that you can define a meeting and come up with. It means the conduct of business of a public body by a majority of its members, 3, that's an operative number, who are together, and that's key, either personally, by video, by phone, by electronic means, or pretty much any other way. So if you guys are conducting business having a discussion about any business related to the Park and Rec Board, and there's 3 of you in that discussion, and you're not in a public meeting, you're violating the Open Meetings Act. And one of the ways another way that you can violate the Open Meeting Act is through what is called polling. Okay, and you'll see this. We've seen criminal actions filed actually by the DA of a county not too far from here against city councilors or public government officials for polling. And that's where you call each other. You call and say, well, what do you think? Okay, now I'm going to go over here and call and see, what do you think? And so you can't make a decision through even just calling and contacting each other to try to figure out, all of your discussions, all of your considerations need to be made at the public meeting. So what you might want to remember is, if I'm going to talk about the mother-daughter, father-daughter banquet, who am I going to talk about it with? Because I can only talk to one other person on this board outside of the meeting. And I'll tell you, there are city councilors and other.
They have 7 members.
7, 5. 5 is your operative number. I'm sorry. 4 is your operative number. I went to law school because I can't do math. 4 is your operative number. That's right, there's 7 of you. So if 4 of you have a discussion outside of a meeting, then you're violating the Open Meetings Act. That includes by email. So you can't have a discussion. You're like, okay, let's just see what everybody thinks by email. Don't reply all. Just kind of try to never reply all, and then you're good. So email, text, any way you can get together with people, you may not want to do it. So that is one of the rules in the Open Meetings Act. The other one is that it's very clear in the Act that the agenda shall identify all items of business to be transacted at your meeting. Okay? So my job, when I'm at a meeting, part of what I believe is my job is to make sure that the public body stays on agenda. Because if you don't, you're talking about something that is not on the agenda, then all those people who might want to be here to talk about that with you don't have the opportunity to be here to talk about that with you, and it's a violation of the Open Meeting Act. And it's really easy to get off topic because you start here and it leads there. And so one of the things that you really want to do, I advise you to do, is let these people monitor you, listen to them. They say that's not on the agenda, then stop talking about it and say, well, okay, then can we put that on the agenda for next meeting? Yeah, absolutely, but it's very important that you stay on agenda. And I'll tell you, you would be very surprised at how much time Rachel and I spend in between city commission meetings talking about agenda language. Okay, do we want to take action on this? How if we word it this way? I mean, just minutia sometime, because we want the commission to be able to transact the business they need to transact. But there also may be reasons we don't want them to go here. If you've got to publish before you do this and then do that, we want them to do this today. And then, so it can get pretty complicated. So just trust your staff that they put together an agenda. Trust them to help you stay on the agenda. Trust them to call you on it when you're about to violate the Open Meetings Act because you're talking amongst yourselves. I will tell you that the time that you are most likely to violate the Open Meetings Act is before the meeting and after it. And I'll just give you an example. Planning Commission, this happens way too often. Some big development is in front of the Planning Commission and the neighbors hate it. And so the developers realized the neighbors hate it, and so they said, hey, can we just come back next month and we're going to go talk to the neighbors and we're going to try to figure this out. So the next month, commissioners are coming up and taking their seats, and they say, wonder if he talked to the did they talk to the neighbors? I don't know, did they talk to the neighbors? And all of a sudden, they're doing business, and there's too many people sitting there, or something crazy happens at your meeting, and before you even get out of the room or out of the building, you've gone, gosh, wasn't that, can you believe it? So just be very careful about that. Because a willful violation of the Open Meetings Act is a misdemeanor with the possible penalty of $500, up to $500 and or 1 year in jail. And people get prosecuted for it. So that's a willful violation, but if you just keep ignoring the rules, it kind of starts to add up to willful. So that is the Open Meetings Act in a nutshell. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Open Records Act. And that's not going to really be as concerning for you all because nearly every record that you see is going to be provided to you by the city. Or, you're going to, very, very rarely are you going to be having public documents that would have to be disclosed that we haven't already seen or provided to you. But you should know that a record, so the Open Records Act says with certain exceptions, and there's quite a few actually, but with certain exceptions, if somebody files an open records request asking for a document and we have it within city possession, the possession of a city public official or employee, we turn it over, okay? And and the reason that I think you guys should know about is because sometimes those can be very broad. It can say all documents related to when the Park and Rec Board considered the mother-daughter dance, father-daughter dance. And they can include your emails on the subject. They can include your Facebook posts on the subject if it's within your possession and control. It gets down to, I've seen texts, if it's related, and if it's in connection with there's the key term, if it's in the connection with the transaction of business, you gotta turn it over. So if you're texting someone else on the board or even some employee, I can't stand it when this person comes. I'm determined to never give this person what they're asking for or whatever, you know. You may be embarrassed at some point because that may go public. And the other part of okay, same kind of thing. Let me also say, one of the exceptions for the requirement that documents be turned over is if attorney-client privilege applies. So if it really is a legal matter that we're discussing, and it's documents regarding a legal matter, then it doesn't have to be disclosed. However, you don't get to slide everything in like, well, let's send this to the city attorney and ask her to send it over here because then it's attorney-client privilege. No, it's not. Okay? It has to be truly communications about a legal matter. So you can't like funnel things through me. And same thing, a willful violation of the Open Record Act is a misdemeanor, carrying a maximum penalty of $500 fine and or 1 year in jail. And then you also ought to know that people can also sue the city and you civilly in a civil action. And if they prove a violation, they can recover their attorney's fees. The violation meaning there was a document that we didn't turn over. Okay. You should also know that the statute says that the public body or the official will not be civilly liable for damages, don't have to pay for a document, as long as, or pay related to the document, so long as we did turn it over. If we turn it over, then we haven't violated any provision or any weird caveat of the Open Records Act, which means that nearly every time the city attorney is going to be saying, give it to them. I don't care if it embarrasses one of you, give it to them, because then the city won't be civilly liable. So just be a little bit cognizant of that. That's probably way more than you wanted to know and more than you need to know in what you're doing. So, any questions about the Open Meeting Act? I kind of ran through this. Your responsibilities. Don't transact business unless you're all here. Stay on agenda when you are all here. That's kind of the gist of that. And records, just be careful about what you write and what you say and what, it's kind of that, I want the world to know this. And then I'm going to say this falls under open meetings a little bit and talk to you about motions and how to move a meeting along. Okay, you've already kind of gotten there, but when you're the best way, what I like to see is whoever is the chairperson say, number 4, say number 5, consideration, discussion, and possible action to elect a chairperson. Say the number, everybody can find it on their long list, and it kind of tells you where you're going. Plus, you may, rarely, but you may want to skip one and come back to it later. So keep up with your numbers. And then read the whole item, unless it's crazy long, and then you can summarize it. Read the item. Then the next thing is discussion. Okay, what do you, actually, let me back up. The next thing is staff, right?
Staff report.
Yeah, she always looks right at us and says staff report. So typically, there's going to be someone at this table who is going to give you more information about whatever the item is or why it's on the agenda. And so, you know, you look for something from the staff. Then if there's any questions for staff, anybody can ask questions. Then you have discussion amongst yourself. And it's always good when the chairperson says, okay, any discussion? And okay, any more discussion? Before somebody makes a motion. Because I've seen it too many times where it's like item number 7, I move that we, and then somebody is over here going on. And then, okay, here's a motion. No, I want to talk about it. Well, where's the second? And it's really good if your discussion's done and then a motion is made. It's really good if you have a motion and then a second without anything in between. Anybody can make a motion. Anybody can second it. You can make a motion to approve, and then you can vote against it. Making a motion just means we're getting it on the table. We're done discussing. I want to vote on this. So you don't have to say, oh, I don't support this. I'm going to vote against it. So I want to make a motion. So it's not related. So, and after, obviously after the motion and the second, there should be a vote. If there is a good reason to, you guys just play it by ear. If somebody says, I move to do A, B, and D, and you're going, okay, didn't you really mean A, B, C, and D? You know, you don't like the way their motion was, or it needs to be clarified, just figure it out. There's rules on that. Just do it, just figure it out. Just make sure, as long as the public knows what you've done, and you don't talk over each other while it's happening, it'll work out. So that's kind of part of also having an open meeting is running it the way the public expects it to be run and can follow. So, anything else?
2 things you may or may not want to mention.
Yeah, I said don't reply all. So you will get an email from staff at times that's sent to everybody. You may even get one from me. You probably won't, but I send them, and they say attorney-client privilege, big time, and make sure you don't reply all.
Yeah, we will send them out to all of you for simplicity.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, if there's a report or he wants to say something about something, and you can reply to him or reply to me or her.
Right.
But don't reply all, because then it turns into a meeting.
And they're not subject. They can communicate
Yeah,
with
we're
all
not
of you
subject
anytime.
to
They're
that.
not subject to
Open
it.
Meetings Act.
Yeah, it's not. They're not bound to only communicate with 4 of you or 3 of you at a time, 4 of you at a time. So it's just you guys who can't be doing mass or group emails or.
So I can send out the group, but you just reply. And all of you can reply, but not know each other. You know.
I'm not going to go there.
That's fine.
The other one, that's too.
That's fine.
Any questions, comments? We just want you to, I know you're a new group, and we've got new staff, and it's exciting. One of the things today, I looked at this agenda and I thought, boy, you guys are gonna get practice right off the bat, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna talk about flag football, and then you're gonna get down to movie in the park, and then you're gonna think about a flag football, and you're gonna want to start going back to an agenda item that's up there. And so this is one of those, the way I look at this agenda, it's a big picture agenda for you guys. And if you're gonna want to make some decisions amongst them or compare them, or, you know, that needs to be a separate agenda item probably for another meeting.
So when we send, or one of us may send out who, you have anything for the agenda? And you'll say, I want to talk about T-ball. We're going to probably come back and say, what about T-ball? Because one of the things we have to do is try to narrow it down so it's not overly broad. So if we're doing that, don't take it personally or like we don't want to talk about T-ball, but like, what are we talking about? It's all agenda. It's because I really don't want to go to jail and be in for, you know, what are you in for? Well, we
Talk about T-ball.
And it's Lene's fault, so.
And I'll tell you, he's being very generous, because if I were asked, I'd say, don't ask them what they want to talk about. Put in processes where they have to go fill out the form and submit it to you to get something onto an agenda, because there's lots of reasons why we might not want something you want on an agenda. And just be prepared for that. Don't take it personally if Bob comes back and says, we're not ready for that, or the lawyer said, we don't want you talking about that right now because there's this lawsuit you don't know about, or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Anything else? Thank you.
Anybody want to leave?
It's not that hard.
You volunteered for this, so it's fun.
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be fine.
Number 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding meeting dates for the Parks and Recreation calendar for year 2023.
So we're assuming, right now it's quarterly, and we're talking about for the next calendar year, would you all want to meet monthly or bi-monthly, or what are you thinking? This is to set the regular meetings. We want to try to stick with regular meetings as much as we can, but you can also throw a special meeting in. You know, so however often you think the board would like to meet. And that's what would be recommended to the city commission when we set the dates for next calendar year, which is coming up.
Say monthly.
Ask, does Eric have a?
Doesn't. Monday's fine.
Jason?
So,
Wednesdays?
That would be fine.
6 o'clock, okay. So you need a motion, somebody would need to make a motion that you, to set the meeting dates monthly on Wednesdays for 2023, calendar year 2023.
Okay, I move to set the meeting dates for calendar year 2023 monthly on Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Second. First Wednesday.
First Wednesday.
First
Wednesday. Sorry. Every Wednesday.
Cheat sheet. Thank you.
Okay, I gotta do the voting.
So I do the
I am
roll.
so sorry. This is
It's okay.
not, this piece I am not used to. Megan,
Yes.
Kayon. Did I
Yes.
get that right? Yes. Courtney,
Yes.
Lene, Marnie.
Yes.
Dustin. JC.
Number 10, a discussion, or consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding scheduling a special meeting before the next regular meeting date of November 2nd, 2022.
Do you want a special meeting before November? I'm assuming you do. You could make a motion to have it on the first Wednesday of September, just to keep things, unless there's a reason you think you might want it differently.
Can we just go ahead and first person in September? To there? Let's look at it on the calendar.
Is there going to be a special meeting that's not in person in December?
Till November.
No.
And then in December, we'll do commission or
So
something
it would have
else.
to be a special meeting in September and October? And they could go ahead and do a motion for special meetings in September and October. So, we have to also give notice a year ahead of time of when meetings are. So if you want to have monthly meetings starting in September, you would have to do a motion. Someone would have to do a motion to set special meetings for first Wednesday in October and September.
What you guys?
Yeah, we're just gonna set them for September and October. We'll have a regular meeting in November,
Right.
and then we'll start.
You're-
Set a special in December, and then
We could set a
November,
special in December.
and then we'll be rolling. So,
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we do special meetings the first Wednesday of September and October on Wednesdays at 6.
Second it.
Megan.
Yes.
Kayon.
Yes.
Courtney. Yes. Lene. Yes. Marnie.
Yes.
Dustin. JC. Yes.
Number 11, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding fall flag football / soccer leagues.
this was put on here wondering if you wanted them,
You guys want to do
which
the,
one?
I'm sorry, it's basically, do you guys want to do the leagues? I know they were normally done, and this year that we've already started trying to do T-ball. And if so, which one would we want to do? Probably don't have time to do one of those two after we get T-ball done.
And if this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you don't necessarily have to make a decision tonight. You can push, you can table something and say, let's talk about it in September. But this is the time to talk, to see what everybody's pulse is on whatever.
Strong interest.
I think we should wait on it just because I know more than like 20 kids already are signed with SASA for flag football. So it's kind of like too late for us to try to get something together, especially, most of our kids are.
A lot of kids have soccer somewhere. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
Some of them signed-
YMCA, if it's Stillwater Soccer, if it's Cushing,
Yeah, we have a few.
a few in Cushing. So I think we might have missed it, honestly.
For both of them?
Yeah, for both of them.
I
SASA
think
has
so,
some already.
just based on people.
But I think soccer.
Soccer sign up ends tomorrow or
Does
this
it?
week.
That's-
Because if we did it, we wouldn't have a lot of kids participating though, because.
I would like to see us try to do a soccer that incorporates the boys and the girls, and I think there's a lot of interest in soccer, but I just don't know what there's already.
Because
Usually a fall thing, or is that a spring?
soccer is a fall thing.
Soccer's fall.
And
Yeah.
I think we've done it both ways before, because it's been in February. At some point it was in February,
It was cold, I remember.
But it was
that.
cold. Like, I almost would rather see it be like, if we're gonna do it, sometime warmer than that. 'Cause it was not fun.
Also, how much work is it just to see, just to put it out there and see, and then if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen?
It's
not much.
work to get it out there. It's the thing is, if we get a bunch of events and we don't have people signing up for it, other people might see that as not a good thing.
And it can also be a deal if we have to refund money.
Yeah.
And that causes problems for me over
Okay.
there. JC, did you have something?
When I first looked at it, my first kind of question with the flag football is how that is going to affect the Perkins Bandit Football League. I don't know. I'm not from Perkins. I don't know at what age they start that, but I wouldn't want to get into a,
Competition?
yes.
Flag football and bandits usually work together. It haven't been an issue in the past.
Okay.
Because they start from like age 4.
Okay.
And bandit starts at kindergarten. No, first grade.
First grade.
So we have that age gap.
And there are some families too that they aren't quite ready for full.
Oh, no, I just didn't yet.
But I think in years where they try to work together, like Parks and Rec has to work with bandits or vice versa. But I think we should definitely try and incorporate that more, like, for sure. Do like for bandits, sign up in May.
Yeah.
Like you can start signing
Those
in
sign-ups
May
is in
for bandits
springtime.
if that's something you're interested in. Okay. Any other? Oh.
I think we're too late on the flag football for sure, but I don't know. I'd kind of like to see the soccer thing, but if I'm the only one, then you know what I mean. Just to try.
I'm happy to try it, but I'm not the one that has to do the refunding and take in the application. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Is there somebody else doing soccer that's already signing up?
and Stillwater,
And
Stillwater.
and YMCA.
So we'd probably run into the same issue with flag football then, because that's probably where most of the kids went. And
When their seasons are though.
I think they're the same time as football.
Soccer?
Yeah.
Probably starting.
So I didn't know if that could be something where like if we're doing just a short fall league for, like the T-ball and stuff, it wasn't gonna start till afterwards. I don't know if that falls at the same time or not. I don't know.
I'm skimming the games, I have no idea either.
So do we make the final decision, or could we then look into when all these dates are, and then you all can, how does that work?
Well, you could table it for the next meeting if you don't think there's a need to do something immediate. If you do think there's a need to make a decision immediate, like say you wanted to open sign-ups or something before the next meeting, then you'd want to do something now. I'm not sure when the season is or anything, so I don't have any idea. And I guess you probably don't have to match seasons with someone else. We can do something at a different time.
So if we say, okay, we're gonna table it till next meeting,
Then
do research between now and
you
then.
have to do research between now and then and just direct staff to have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
I think flag football's off, but just soccer.
Do you want an agenda item for both? Do we need a motion to table? I don't think so. Or
Just because we say,
or just take no action?
let's go with soccer.
Take.
We can on it right now, but like they can't open it without us saying we want to open it.
We're not tabling this entire.
I just want the same kids that would be doing
They can just tell us.
stuff are gonna be the ones that do soccer, so if it was the season like right after, since we're doing a short season.
I'm gonna have a carnival.
And that'll be, but that would fall right after maintenance in September.
See, I didn't, because
I have no idea. I don't know anything about soccer. That's my thing. Like, I don't know.
He played collegiate soccer.
I know he.
Their season's just gonna be as long as football and all that, so if football's off the table, I would say soccer is, because they're probably gonna run together at the same time. That's how most communities do that type of program, especially like Stillwater, which is a bigger community, will be running them both at the same time.
Well, that's something we could look at doing, like, it's probably off topic, but like next year for fall signups, is having it all in one.
Like it used to be. We just weren't able to do that because we didn't have a board or.
how it used to be, we didn't ever have any going at the same time at all, right?
We did. We had football and t-ball, fall ball going at the same time.
We didn't used to do fall t-ball.
And
It went,
Well, we did
Daxon's age did.
it in February when it
Well,
was spring and it was
I just know that, or I was just thinking.
Oh, it was just flag football and soccer?
It was
But those two
flag
go at the
football.
same time, right?
Soccer was in.
So you're always playing.
You could do it, I mean, you could do it anytime, but if you want to just table this and tell staff to bring it back next month, we can bring back the agenda item just like it is, or we can bring back one or the other, however you all want it.
If you table something, you're tabling the entire agenda item. And if what I'm hearing is you don't, you really don't need to talk about football anymore. You kind of decided that you're just done with that, so you can take no action on that. And I would just say then the staff knows that they need to put it back on the agenda regarding.
I think they might have at
Or
least,
you could do a motion to put it on the agenda.
but I think they might have one or two members that want to talk about football.
Do you?
That'd be something for you all to,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You have to decide.
for next
Talk about
meeting.
Football at the next meeting?
I think
I think football's already started.
Yeah.
I think football's already good.
It's now, so.
Too.
it's
Football's.
soccer stuff too.
So move to do no action on football,
Yeah.
and then we can,
Go ahead and make that one motion.
I motion to take no action on flag football.
No, actually, you don't have to motion to take no action. Ding dong. Ignore that. You are just taking no action on it.
No action on football. Do
So
you want us to
articulate
bring
your
back
motion
soccer?
on the other one.
Or can we move soccer to the spring? Or
You don't have to talk about it next meeting either. You can just say no action, we'll bring it up
To the
later.
spring.
yeah.
Or you can bring it back next month, whatever your pleasure.
You think soccer is gonna be something that,
It seemed to me like a lot of people were asking for soccer whenever like everything was kind of going around. A lot of the younger kids, like little kids. And so, I don't know, that's why I thought,
Well, let's bring it back next month.
Yeah.
You guys do research, we can do research.
I still haven't signed up for that.
We don't have to do it at a certain time just because someone else is.
right.
sounds good.
So table soccer.
So
Do we have to make a motion for that? To table
No.
something?
Just move on.
You're not taking any action on it tonight,
No decisions are being made.
unless somebody wants to make a motion.
You can check.
Number 12, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding fall baseball / softball leagues. Ryan, do you, or,
I'm so sorry.
I guess I'm Ryan now.
I'm sorry. Eric.
Didn't get that till you just, he's like, I'm Ryan, I got it.
It's on TV.
It's still fun, don't have
How do you?
I was terrified I was gonna do that.
It happened, so it's okay.
Sorry.
What do you guys?
How many do we,
So baseball, we have one, two. We have about, oops, that one went, oh, that's softball. Sorry, softball, we have about 3, and I put one forward. We have about 3 kids signed up. Baseball is, I believe, a little bit better with 1, 2, 3. We have 4 kids signed up. T-ball is what's looking the best right now. We have a lot more signed up.
future city attorney. I'm sorry. Sometimes that's what I hear.
Yeah, that's when I talk, that's what I hear, Mom. My dad did say that it was stop.
So he's looking about 20.
There's none.
21 t-ball, 3 baseball, or 3 softball and 4 baseball, is that what?
Yeah.
Signups are scheduled to end August 10th.
So I think it would be definitely possible to speak up. If we advertise it right, we could probably get at least another t-ball team or so and probably be able to do that. I'm not for sure what advertisement has been done to other communities to try to get a softball and baseball, but from what it sounds like is a lot of these other communities are participating in other sports at the moment, so I don't know if it's maybe not do baseball and softball and just do the t-ball for the fall. Is that up to you guys?
I think we should wait until the deadline, because I know there's at least one team that, or 2 teams, that talked about it. One actually was wondering about being on one day, because they'd like to play like multiple leagues. And if we had all the games on one certain date, they could do that. I don't know.
About like 8.
That's what.
Were you talking about AU or is it T-ball?
That was softball. I think if we wait, I mean, at least till the date, because a lot of people don't sign up.
So if we doing teams, I believe the kids that's not on the team.
Because they're kind of.
That's what and then what I was gonna say is if we've got, say we only end up with 8 or 9 kids that sign up, can we try to get them a coach and let them sign up together, and then you at least do something, maybe?
If we have enough, if not, we could possibly see if any of these teams are willing to just have us plug in an extra player on their team as part of the league and say, hey, we only had 3 or 4 individuals sign up. If you're going to be a team, I need to pick up one of these players. So
I think the softball full team that are.
I have had one team reach out to me and they're interested, but they were interested if we get enough teams. They're like, if you guys can only get 2 or 3 teams, we'd rather go play up in Stillwater.
Well, the good thing too is our signups end the 10th, SASA ends the 12th, so there is a 2-day grace period to where we could, if we got enough to lump the team.
I'd really like to see the kids that signed up get to play somewhere, and so if we can get at least, if there's 8 kids sign up, 9 kids sign up, then let's try to get a parent to coach them, even if we have to move them to the other league or something, if we can. We have time to do it.
Yeah.
So are you asking if we do get enough kids in the team, see if we can get them in a different league, or?
If we don't have multiple teams sign up, rather than just say we're not doing anything, try to get them at least together for a team.
Do we go, I don't know what league you're talking about, but if they were going to go to SASA, I think the fee is higher. Would we go back to them and say, you need to pay more money if you want to play?
We have to.
We could just leave that option up to them, say, hey, we've had 8 kids sign up, we can try and help you guys put a team together and you guys can move to SASA. However, it's X amount more to play it in that league than it would have been
So
here.
they have other leagues nearby that's cheaper than SASA. They have Tri-County, they have Lincoln County, they have.
3.
Yeah.
The Guthrie League, yeah, I went to that coaches meeting. So the Guthrie League is also $50,
Yeah.
and they did not get enough teams. So yeah, we could combine with them, and I have the contact for them. So, and it's still $50. So maybe some of the games are played here, some of the games are played in Guthrie.
Yeah, as long as we games here, I think that'd be good.
That would be possible. I
think
need
that-
that contact information so I can reach out to them.
That. Another thing about baseball and softball and t-ball, like the team that you have that wants to play but wants to know how many, well, that's a lot of people sitting out there like waiting to see how many will, if they're not signing up, we don't know how many. is there a way that maybe we could tell everyone, hey, we have this many signed up? Or,
I've only had one team reach out to that. If there's multiple teams, I could talk to all the coaches at the same time and say, hey, I got 4 of you guys waiting on, well, how many teams are there going to be? If all 4 of you guys come, there's 4 teams right there, plus we might have a 5th. So that's something I can do. So if you guys know about anybody else that is, that has teams that are in that waiting, because I only know of one team, it's a softball team.
There's another, I know the one that you're talking about, that's the one that was asking about if they could all be on one, like if all the games could be on one day, that way they could play both SASA and here. There's another team though, there is another team talking about it though, because they did ask about, well, they asked about my kid wanted to play on their team. So, and they had a full team in the spring, so I think there is a couple of teams hanging out there. We just need to sign up so we know.
I do know for baseball, some of the coaches that are in town that put teams together, they've already said, we're going to SASA, but in the spring, we're coming back to you guys. And that was because we weren't for sure about the league, so we went ahead to go to SASA. There's at least 2 or 3 coaches I've talked to that are running the camp now that were said, yeah, we're going to come back to Perkins in the spring. We just weren't for sure with everything going on whether we were going to be able to do Perkins or so we just decided, went ahead, made the decision, went up there, and then we're going to come back in the spring. So.
I think we just gotta wait until the deadline and see how many sign up.
that's what I'm wondering, is there a way we can be more transparent? Like, here's how many we have this week, like, yeah, we might make it, we might, well, I didn't know if that's something you would put out there, but, like, we all are hearing things from different people, but
We can put it out, or you can put it out, or we can both put it out, and I'm talking personally.
personally,
I wouldn't say put how many we have, because that would deter people from coming. I would just say mostly, we're needing 2 more teams to sign up.
Right,
or
something-
like that. Yeah.
or 5 more kids and a coach, or
Yeah.
we need a coach for this, for these 9 players, or, I don't know. I just feel like we're all hearing things around, but there's no way for collectively everybody to know. I don't know.
So did I hear a motion to contact Guthrie to see if we can coordinate something with them and advertise the number of signups we currently have to see if we get more?
That's a lot, but
Are we doing a Guthrie
I don't-
League if we don't get them signed up, or are we doing it regardless?
but not a Guthrie League, more like a combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah.
I'm saying, are we doing that if we don't get enough kids, or we just doing it?
In one motion.
I mean, not with 4 kids.
Yeah.
Not gonna work with 4 kids, but
Technically, you
I wonder.
Yeah, the first step of that would probably be just to contact them and see how many they even have.
Okay.
They only have one team, and
Separated, that's fine.
we only have 4 kids, it's not gonna work. So.
maybe we don't have a motion for anything.
You can have 2 I did it in one motion, but you could say, I'd like to make a motion to contact Guthrie. I'm sorry, I was visiting. Somebody could make a motion to contact Guthrie to see if there's a way to collaborate for the 2 to work together. And then somebody would second it, and it'd be vote, and then you could ostensibly do another motion for staff to put something out on social media about how many signs, or reminders, or however you want to.
And for Guthrie too, if we're only gonna have 2 T-ball teams or 3 T-ball teams, and they have 2 or 3 T-ball teams.
Yeah, if we contact Guthrie, I'll check with everything that we're trying to do to see what they have. If they're doing T-ball, if they're doing softball coach pitch, baseball coach pitch, what exactly is their league? What are they trying to do?
Right. Okay, I make a motion to contact Guthrie and see about working together on a fall league.
Before I second, are we doing it for baseball and softball, or just softball?
I think he's just gonna ask about everything.
And is that saying that we are doing that, like if that is, or just asking them?
Just asking.
We would ask and then bring you back information in September.
Yeah.
Because when would the games start?
In August.
Well, then we'd have to have a special meeting, but we could do that.
We
depending
could have
on
a
what
special
they
meeting
say.
to say, yeah, let's go for it.
Or
Do
would
a
we-
motion to,
If it works.
I think it would be important to, I think it'd be important to know that, like, for parents to drive 30 minutes for T-ball games whenever we
Investigate.
advertised it for here.
consolidate with Guthrie.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Agreed.
Like, that makes a, like, that would make a huge deal to my family personally. You know what I mean? So I think that would be important to lots of families.
So, see if they want to come here. Especially if theirs didn't make, maybe they will. But then they might, their parents might have the same issue.
Yeah, I doubt.
You're
they
more
would
likely to
probably-
travel for 8U than.
Yeah, honestly, you can travel a lot for
I just don't see a lot of T-ball kids
T-ball
walking
kids.
30 minutes away.
Okay, so don't ask about T-ball.
Ask the, it doesn't hurt to ask the question. I just wouldn't want to make that decision. All the information, I guess.
So, motion to let staff reach out, gather information from Guthrie, and then we can call, how far in advance could we call a special meeting? Do we need to have?
48 hours.
Okay, so then we could just, after Eric gets information, we can just call a special meeting.
Unless you just want to, you could do a motion to have him investigate and collaborate, if appropriate, with Guthrie. If you don't want to have, if you trust him with it, which I know you don't know him, so why would you trust him with it?
She doesn't even say.
But that's, you could do it either way.
That way,
Have a special
Guthrie
meeting, or you
was
could
gonna
just
come
say,
here, we just
go with
do
it.
So would we rather him ask if he has teams that want to come here and play for T-ball instead of back and forth? Okay. Is that a different motion? Do we have to specifically,
I think he did.
you think we do? I don't know.
Still,
Motion? Hold on, I'm getting it. I'm getting
Make a
it.
motion for staff to contact Guthrie to see if they want to play T-ball in Perkins.
Yes.
And if so, to proceed. Or just
It's
T-ball.
another motion though, right? Because we want him to contact Guthrie to see if he wants to collaborate with
Oh, right.
baseball and T-ball.
Yeah.
So that'd be another motion. But now we have talked in between
So
motions.
the motion is, first one,
The first one is that staff will contact Guthrie to play, to see about if they have T-ball teams that would like to come play in our league here in Perkins.
That's not even on this agenda.
No.
It's baseball and softball. I think T-ball falls into baseball, it's baseball.
yes.
So I
Yeah,
just
it
said baseball because the.
Okay, is there a second for that motion?
Okay, yes.
Megan seconded. I said it.
Let's do a
Megan.
motion.
Courtney. Woo. We'll get there.
Baseball and T. Gene's completely confused.
I'm just imagining myself sitting in my office in all this else.
And then in regards,
Well, hold on. We have to vote on that, right?
Yeah.
Just the T-ball thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, not T-ball.
Yeah.
That was one motion for T-ball, correct?
For baseball.
The T-ball type of baseball.
Oh, sorry, baseball.
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 Yeah, baseball.
My bad. My bad. Got you.
Okay. Megan.
yes.
Kayon.
Yes.
Courtney.
Yes.
Lene. Yes. Marnie. Justin. Yes. JC. Yes.
I know.
Okay.
Well, now we're good, because it's all baseball.
Oh, softball.
It's all good.
Oh, it's all baseball.
Yes, it's all baseball and softball.
Y'all have fun. Call me if you need me.
Are we still on advertising on Facebook?
Now they directed staff, I think.
And can we still do more on this?
We'll
Talk
talk if
ab-
there's any other discussion.
Okay, ask if there's any more
Is
discussion.
there any more discussion? And we can do that. Personally, I know Sean quite, but we have some comments.
See ya. Thank you.
Well, the other thing that I thought we should maybe think about too is if this Guthrie thing doesn't work, what about offering like softball or some more softball and baseball clinics during the season? Like if there's
For
individuals.
those kids that wanted to play, but
Yeah, we can have like a field day where they can come play a game.
Yeah.
and-
Well, I mean, I know they're doing a clinic right now, baseball at Peters Park, but what if we offered a couple more that was maybe softball specific or another baseball? Just so that the kids, if they don't want to travel to Guthrie or they don't do SASA, the kids that have signed up, like there's something still they could do relating to that.
for these 7 to 15 kids if they don't get on a team.
And we could even open it up for community.
And then more people,
Yeah.
correct, than we would.
To other communities.
I like it. I like it. If there's any, like,
Not just
it
realistic.
doesn't hurt, right?
Right.
It's just something else to offer if it doesn't make. But we, like, if it,
We need some logistics, like, are you charging for it? How much are you gonna charge? What sign-up dates?
Do the Chevy baseball clinic?
what?
Do you know they used to do the Chevy baseball clinic here?
Yeah, well, Wilson Chevrolet's who put it on.
Would they be willing? That's what it said.
Same agenda
That
item.
way kids don't have.
Fall baseball, softball.
So should we like finish the sign up and then have like bring to the meeting, like to the September meeting,
We'll have to
like
have a special-
certain ideas or?
The signups end on the 10th.
Yes.
So that's.
So we
But you don't have to have a
meeting
baseball
yet.
clinic or a softball clinic before September.
Right, but wouldn't we want to have something, wouldn't we want to be able to tell those parents, hey, it didn't make, but
Yeah, we
have this? Maybe not, or we just refund their money?
How much did Joe charge for this clinic?
75?
Yeah. Like I said, I think Chevy baseball always had a great turnout when they did it. That's kinda cool.
I don't know. Eric, do you have any thoughts on that?
With the deadline, you'd probably just have to refund it and then decide if you wanted to do camps later.
Okay. Are we doing that in a special meeting?
So can we put on the agenda to talk about some kind of softball or baseball clinic
September.
in September? I just feel like we have to kind of have a game plan right now because the deadline's gonna come. If it's not gonna make, then we need to have a game plan.
So, was that a motion that you just did?
Do I have to make a motion to put something on the agenda?
Yeah.
All right.
You can just move on to 13.
All right. 13, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding adult recreation classes. Eric.
So I do have someone that's already willing to teach crocheting as a class for adults or something like that. That was something when I interviewed, I pitched, was getting some activities like that. Are there any other, I guess, would we want to start running with that one and then maybe later talk about possible other things? I know, can't remember, but I know somebody mentioned to me that they know somebody that teaches art classes that could maybe come in and teach some painting or something like that. But would we want to start running those or just maybe put a schedule or a plan together? Would be kind of what I would,
And are we going to limit that to just adults? I mean, I know it does say adults.
We
but-
could do I would say you would want to do a certain age, at least maybe like 16 and up, high school and up, something where you don't have, especially with like knitting, because they're going to have sharp needles, and you don't want little kids running around with sharp needles. But you could teach high school kids how to do that, so that would be something I guess you guys would want to talk about.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So is your question, do we want to start a schedule for the fall of a few classes?
I guess, do we want to try to do some, and then what other classes would we need to,
What other classes?
would be an interest for the community?
I don't know who said the art class, but that's a great idea.
Were you talking about Jessica?
Probably, yeah, but I was thinking Honestly, I was thinking that might be like a fundraiser, but because it usually does, have some cost, I don't know that that's something we could offer like for free. I don't know. I would need to talk to her before.
Could we charge or let them charge and rent the building to do the class? I figured we probably could.
Or, yeah.
We could charge them.
Or if it's our building, we could just use it. They could use it and then just, pay her.
If she wants to charge to teach the class, and we just have it on our schedule, letting them use the building as recreational activity.
And I don't say we don't have to always use that one person.
Yeah.
We can
Have a lot of different people.
come in.
I mean, that too, I know I've been to a couple here that they got the Tipsy artist in
Yeah.
fifth grade. She put together kits, and so you just get these kits, and it's not like a teacher-led thing. It's just everybody comes and you work on this thing together. So I mean, there's
Just to get something for the community to get involved in, I think it's
Yeah.
great.
So you could just do a motion or something to direct staff to, research and set up adult recreation projects.
Well, then I motion to have Eric or staff do research and set up a schedule for fall recreation activities classes.
And then if anybody has ideas, shoot him individually.
Individually, we can do
Send them
that.
to him, say, hey, so-and-so would like to teach this, or.
Especially if you guys know somebody that does, because I don't know everybody here.
Need to second that?
Second.
Kale. Motion. Megan, motion. Kale, second.
Megan?
Yes.
Kayon?
Yes.
Courtney?
Yes.
Lainey?
Yes.
Renee? Barney?
Yes.
Justin?
My kid is Lainey.
Well, that's not confusing at all.
All right, number 14. Consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding spring sports leagues. Eric.
So basically, do we want to go ahead and start talking about spring sports, or do we just want to put it off and put it on the next agenda? It's kind of what I was wondering there. Do you guys want to go ahead and start talking about what we want to do in the spring, or focus on some of this fall stuff first and then?
I think we should start talking so we don't run into the last minute.
What are some of your ideas?
I know most places play soccer fall, spring, so soccer could be one. Baseball already sounds like it's going to be big. Like I said, there's already been coaches that have said they're coming back in the spring to play. So that would also give a little bit more time. I have one field that's probably not usable at the moment, to get that field back up and usable to where we could have 2 baseball fields running. One of them's had some sprinkler issues and it's not usable at the moment. So that would probably be the 2 sports I would say to go with, would be maybe a soccer league and a baseball, softball, t-ball, anything you hit with a bat league.
I think that would be great, because that would give us a jump start on next year, next fall. And now we're,
Yeah, if we can start getting that stuff in place earlier, we can hit fall earlier and not be.
Well, is the softball field going to be playable?
Softball field,
It is
SASA redid all.
It is playable now.
SASA.
So good.
We went there yesterday and we got more stickers than we did before.
Oh.
And that's what
Stickers won't take,
Stickers
will take
don't
10 years.
Yeah.
Easy.
Stickers don't matter.
And then
Seriously.
Well, I know, but the field is just like it needs grass in the outfield. Whatever happened, it just kind of destroyed it, and we went out there and tried to fix it a little bit too when we were there, but there's no definition of the field versus the outfield. And I was wondering if that's going to be.
I'd defer to you.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
May I speak? Okay. So what SASA did was is they came up in, by the way, Carla Cummings, 304 Southeast 3rd, Perkins, Oklahoma. Sorry, Gene. Okay, SASA struggled. They got some dirt delivered that was messed up with a lot of grass in it. Okay, so you're talking about the difference between the dirt and the grass, the differential? Yeah. Okay. Here's the deal. It's going to take Eric some time. Mm-hmm. The sprinkler system on that side has a solenoid out. Okay. And it's messed up. The whole entire system is messed up. Someone needs to pray for him. And the company that can fix it cannot get to us until September. Okay? So, yes, you found out more?
Updating on that. I was able to have one of the guys that has worked on it before. His name is Bobby. He came up here and looked at it as well and actually pointed me in some of the right directions to start working on that sprinkler.
So, but because of the sprinklers are out, it's dead there. And when Jared drug it, I felt like he did a really good job. There's no lip there anymore. Yeah. But it does need to get greened up, and then Eric will edge it.
Yeah. No, I'm just understand that, but what we've heard in the past and what we've dealt with our kids too and playing that is that it's been so bad that nobody wants to play on it.
Right, and the sticker issue.
That's been going on for
A and
years.
B, actually Coach Hill, Jim Hill, works for A and B now, and I was out there today and he had a truckload of carpet. And I got goosebumps because they went above and beyond what I signed their contract to be. Mm-hmm. And him and Ryan and his other son, his youngest son, was out there with some carpet. It's just going to be a process. Yeah. And part of they're called sandbars for a reason. Mm-hmm. And it's just been so dry. And A and B just put down their chemicals last week. So the pre-emergent and the what was it, 2,4-D?
Yeah.
That they put down just needs a little time.
Add to that, they can once the fall starts, they can start using some stronger stuff that evaporates too quickly in the heat. That does a lot better at killing those sandburs. Will we be able to get rid of all of them?
No, probably. There's no way. I mean, no.
But they've been out there, like she said, going above and beyond with the four-wheeler, trying to carpet. We got a visitor.
What we need is a lawnmower with a bagger.
Just a mud dumper.
And ours isn't ready. It got broke somehow. And so we really do, your volunteer force, we need someone with a bagger lawnmower to go out there and get those dead ones, those ones that are just laying on the ground. Because when A and B sprays, they're not killing the ones that are already on the ground. Okay? Yeah. They're only killing the ones that are coming up.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the ones on the ground that are causing all of us havoc.
Yeah.
Okay? And so even better than dragging would be getting somebody out there, even though it doesn't look like it needs to be mowed, mow it. Yeah. You suck those stickers up, burn them some. Don't burn now, they have burn ban. But and then wash your own mower. But we need a volunteer that's got a decent bagger that can go out there, bag it up. All right, I don't have one, or I'd already done it.
Well, me and Megan have been told before, and this is, nobody's allowed to go out there and touch anything unless somebody from the city tells us to. Is that still true?
Well, I'm going to divert to staff on that question.
Okay.
I'm not staff. I'm policy.
Yeah.
And just helping with the board. So I'm going to divert that to Mr. Ernst from there. Okay. You know what? I'm so proud of all y'all. But if you have my number, if you have any questions, just holler.
You need to, if you're going to go do something on city property, you need to coordinate at least with the Park and Rec director.
Okay.
So we know what's going on. And then also allow us to get the form signed, liability.
Yeah.
And then, the more you want to work, the better, but it needs to be, we don't need different people showing up at different times. It's not coordinated, doing different things.
Yeah. Well, that's totally understand, but yeah, we were told no. It had to have been the parks guy or parks people touch it. Nobody else could. We couldn't even coordinate it before. And so
No, that's what I think we want us to coordinate it.
Okay. I was just
I
making
don't
sure.
know who said that, it wasn't me, but.
No, it
wouldn't have-
wasn't you.
I don't know what was going on at that time, but.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, absolutely, coordinate it, just
Okay.
get with him and.
I just want to say the people that have been volunteering before have been doing a great job. It was a ton better out there, ton better than what it was last year. I mean, last year was a mess, and we.
And I'm just gonna throw out there, that's 2 work nights that we've had, and Eric's been out there, I mean, every day doing stuff, so.
Yeah, I
really
mean, it looks, like I said, it looks a lot better. I was just wondering, I mean, I haven't been out there in a long time, and just wondering, you know, I didn't know that they dumped dirt to make it look like that to, yeah.
But to that, I guess it's a kind of a question with what he said. If we were to, like under special events or whatever, ask for another work day or put another work day, and we asked if you had a bagger mower and brought it, is that a complete issue, or would they be covered under like the liability waiver that we would have them sign?
We can put it on the liability waiver, I think.
Okay. Is there any other discussion on spring stuff that we want to do? Soccer, baseball, softball, and t-ball, correct?
Oh, if we're gonna have teams, are we gonna host a tournament to raise
I was
money?
gonna say tournaments also.
Yes.
Yeah, a tournament period.
Like
Tournament.
kids or adults.
Yeah.
Because that makes a
Brings
lot of money
everyone
for
to
the
do it.
community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like maybe do like a mother, remember that when they used to do Mother's Day bat?
Oh,
with
Mother's
that
Day,
classic?
I still have a shirt from the Mustang.
So I mean, is that something that we would want to maybe look at doing, is like doing like adult league softball, baseball too for spring?
Yeah, because I think we have 3 Perkins teams playing in the adult league right now. In Stillwater.
There was like 5 teams about 14 or 15 years ago. There was like 5 or 6 teams in a league here. People did it.
Even if you decide you just want to do a tournament, especially like just adult softball, with some of the surrounding areas too, if it's advertised well enough, you could probably, just for like a weekend tournament, you could probably get people from Cushing, Stillwater, especially if you make it a big enough deal.
We've had some in the past that we got people from like southern Oklahoma that came up.
You could probably even get them from Oklahoma City as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple teams, or
But that's also something we could incorporate, like maybe the tribe into, and be able to utilize their field south of town as well as ours, maybe, if we have enough teams. That way it's not just so clustered down at Dixon. So, okay, so.
Do we wanna get, like, should we get moving on those? What steps need to be taken
From,
on our end for you to be moving forward?
I would say probably on that one, maybe do a motion for research, so that I can get you guys some type of list with a little bit more of what we could do this for, but this.
Or you could just say, bring back more information about spring leagues, and then you wouldn't necessarily have to do a motion, because you're not making a final
Maybe
decision.
like a timeline of like when the soccer league would be, like a proposed timeline.
And we'll also have to make sure it's manageable, you know, all the different, whatever. You can do more research and get back to you.
Sounds great.
So we don't have to do.
So you can just table that and we can get back to that, yep.
Alright, number 15. Number 15, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding a fall mother-son event. Eric, sorry.
Yeah, so, I guess there used to be a mother-son event. What would you guys like to do with that? I normally heard it was around Halloween, October.
Yeah.
Kind of leaving this one open to you guys to discuss. What do you want to do?
My 2 cents, I do have a son, so I would love to have an event like that. Events that we had prior though, the father-daughter dance completely outweighed the mother-son stuff. And it was not a very good turnout for mother-son. Not saying I don't want to do that, I'm just saying we kind of
call it something else. Do we call it a Halloween dance?
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
something. I think we just need to put it out differently.
I mean, I think we probably should put that under, never mind. Because I think I liked the idea of the father-daughter dance being around Valentine's Day, because that's usually when we did it before. But then we also did the mother-son stuff right after that in the spring is when we did it. But I like the idea of doing like a Halloween theme or something, because boys like to dress up. They may not. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna suggest, some kind of theme for the boys, because
Yeah.
they would get into that more.
I think in October in Perkins, we have so much going on, especially that's football season. I think it's kind of chaotic. That's why we didn't probably have a good turnout.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and ours were always in the spring too. I don't remember us putting one on in the
I
fall.
don't remember fall either, but.
I mean, I'm not opposed.
I like it in the spring.
Sorry.
No,
it's.
I heard it was just in the fall, and that's what
I think that, I mean, I do like that idea. My worry with doing it like fall is the sports that we have, but also like the elementary school puts on a huge Halloween, like the Monster Mash, and we have all the churches put stuff on too.
Have little like trails and
I like the
trails.
idea for both of them to be in the spring.
Yeah. So.
I don't really have a boy either, but would they be more interested in doing like a mother-son like field day kind of a thing?
Yeah,
or
like
camp.
you know, like something like that rather than a dance. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just no action, move on, bring it
Yeah,
back.
so we should probably just no action and bring it up for in the springtime.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Or like in the winter and then next.
Winter, so we can.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Sorry, I mean, that's what you're here for, to give suggestions, you know, that's,
Fair enough.
Number 16, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding movie in the park event.
Who wanted this on there?
Eric.
It was an idea that was brought up too.
Yeah, I brought it up.
She brought it up.
Great turnout last time.
So,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, since it's, if you request something to be on the agenda when it comes up, that's a good time for you to explain your thought process and what you were thinking to the other board members.
Well, I like how we did it. We usually, but I think, is it the tribe that's about to take that idea now? We just had several like vendors come out. We'll do hot dogs and popcorn, and we have the big old blow up screen when it get close to dark. So I thought that was a good event just to get the community involved.
Someone's a little cooler.
yeah.
We could, I don't even know the cost associated with it.
so you have to go through.
I know there's companies where you have to rent the movie rights, I think, and then the screen, but
Probably $200 to $300 to rent a movie.
gather more information and come back in September and try to find something for October, November-ish.
Yeah, and that'd be a good way. Like if we have something coming up, we can, advertise it at that event.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in a way, some people don't have social media.
So Eric, can you gather information and bring that back? Remember?
I can also help with that. I did that at college. That was part of, I was in SGA, and that we did a movie event, and I don't remember us ever having to rent a movie, like rent the rights for it.
So
Or is it because it's like community-wide?
Yeah, when I worked at the correctional facility, any public eventing like that, at the facility, we had to have a certain license with one of those companies to show all the movies, as well as we did a movie in the park for our staff. We had to get the proper licensing for the movie. It depends on whether it's in a private setting or a
It
public
might be,
setting.
it might be just because government was doing it, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's in any public setting, like say a public park, it has to have that, or you could be facing some legal.
If you're charging or something.
So,
And is that, to that extent, I don't know if that'd be in part of your information you need to gather, but could we move it? We did it at Territorial Plaza, but could we move it somewhere like at Peters Park? Like put the screen at the backstop, behind home plate, and then we could do food trucks in the parking lot, or, if down at the park or whatever. That way it just gives more area. People could bring lawn chairs and blankets and sit in the outfield or whatever to watch the movie. I don't know if that's an extra cost or if that matters to why you're gathering.
I'd have to get some info, but as long as we have enough power sources to plug everything in, yeah.
But it also allows us to run a concession
And then we have
stand
the
too.
concession stand right there.
There is a concession stand at the plaza though, but it's kind of awkwardly faced.
Oh yeah, it faces the pond. Okay. So do we need a motion for him to gather, or is that? No. Okay. Okay.
Just get more info and come back.
All right, number 17, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding Christmas lights display. Eric.
I guess, do we just want to, well, I know we need to probably get started about what do we want to do for the Christmas lights. I guess there used to be displays, but I don't know if there has been as much recently as well as.
Just not last year. There was before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Clay.
Community,
Will
a
Clay, yeah.
business that have to decorate their,
And I know you
their
have-
competition between businesses and everything.
And I know people donated money for the lights,
Well,
so.
there were, pre-COVID, there were totes on top of totes on top of
Of
totes
lights.
out there with Christmas, nothing
There
but.
are a bunch of lights hidden in all of the parks.
Yeah.
And I were color coded at one point in time per tote. So
So who did the cutouts? Did you do cutouts?
I did not, Katie, I can't think of her last name.
Yeah, I can get in touch with her. I don't know her name.
Katie Kana something. She
She's
did
a
all the
great
cutouts and
artist.
painted everything.
Yeah, we should still have those like a Grinch.
I've actually think I've seen that somewhere. I don't remember which building,
Yeah.
but it's in.
There's several, like there's
She did.
several Christmas characters, movie characters that she did. And what we did before was lights were put up all around the plaza. That's where the lights were. And then her wooden cutouts were just placed kind of around the church and the schoolhouse and.
And then Will Clay had the big
Yeah.
thing. I think we should,
Reach out to him.
I think, yeah, reaching out to Will Clay and see if he would help coordinate.
Yeah,
that.
we've had
That brought a lot of people into town. I know.
we've had a conversation.
That was
He's trying to figure out how busy he's gonna be, because he does a lot of it for money as well.
And when we do the picture, Santa Claus picture.
I mean, yeah, that's something we would probably want to bring back in. I know a lot of people like that. And didn't we have the Grinch one year?
Yeah.
Wasn't
We
it?
had the Grinch.
Yeah, it was my wife.
Thought it was your wife, but I wasn't gonna.
That was mine. That was even a costume.
Oh, this is a lie.
Yeah, but she likes doing that, so hopefully she's not watching.
No, me either.
I think that'd be cool.
So, motion to have Christmas lights set up and talk to Will Clay.
Yeah.
Second.
And to that note too, oops, go ahead.
Already moved.
Yep.
And I will say with that Christmas stuff, with as many people as we have had that donate, like if there's anything for the Christmas stuff as you are getting through that you need, post it on Facebook or let one of us know and we can, social media, I mean, we've got a lot so far over this last month donated from the community, so.
Megan?
Yes.
Ayon?
Yes.
Courtney?
Yes.
Lene? Yes. Mark?
Yes.
Dustin?
Yes.
Jason? Yes.
All right. Number 18, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding potential special events. Eric.
This one is basically, are there any other special events or anything else that you guys like to discuss? That you guys have ideas for?
Someone had brought up at one point about doing like a exchange of, which I don't know if we need to do this if we may not have the leagues, but like an equipment exchange kind of, like people could bring their old equipment, trade it out for like bats that people don't need anymore, for like the younger kids that maybe need them or stuff like that. But I don't know if we wait to do that in the spring, like where we may have more participation.
So I kind of have an idea already ready.
Okay.
I was excited about this, but it kind of took the movie in the park thing. I thought we could do Sandlot and have a movie in the park, but have people come before and like they play a Sandlot game. So like a bunch of kids are running around, you have a game with like the T-ball, like the squishy ball, so no one gets hurt. And then when it gets dark, then you have the movie showing. We have donations, we have the concession open. I thought about doing it in the spring, like right before the season starts, and so everyone brings up their old cleats that don't fit anymore, or their backpacks, or their, baseball bags, or whatever. If we're doing soccer too, soccer stuff, I don't know anything about soccer, but the shin things, whatever those are.
I think we just have to word that in a way that if you want to, or to keep the city out of it, out of the donations, so we're not, if somebody gets, because we can get sued for unbelievable things. So if you want to bring old equipment and trade with friends, or, you can do that at this event.
I would say we need somewhere to store things because some people might, my kid doesn't want to play anymore. I don't want to hold it at my house.
Well, that was one of my questions is, do we do it like where it's just a swap, you just bring your stuff like I was talking about, or do we do it where we get donations where they're coming in here and then we bring them out and help kids fit?
And we could keep doing that every...
Like we bring them into the, like what you're saying, say in his office, I don't know, your storage, but we start collecting them as we hear about it or throughout the winter.
That's a really good idea, but we'll need to do some research about, there's purchasing laws and surplus laws and things we have to follow that are different.
Okay, because
I don't know.
It worked out well. We do it in wrestling.
You said you do like wrestling shoes,
That's
right?
what we do for the demon wrestling. Yeah. And
I don't see, it's a great idea, and I think it'd be a good thing. I just want to check a couple boxes with the city attorney to make sure.
Right.
If somebody leaves something, we're obviously going to pick it up and put it somewhere, and then they come back. I just don't want to overcomplicate it. Keep it simple.
And I think that would help with people signing up that's less fortunate also.
Yep.
We could do the event, like when the signups are starting and have the signups.
Like a sign up night, yes, all of that. Equipment, and then I thought you could do like, if your family wanted to come but you didn't want to buy stuff at the concession, well, we'd charge for ice chests. Like, you see that at places, like, okay, you get an ice chest, like, bracelet or whatever, and you bring your dinner, you hang out with your family and watch Sandlot after you just got to play a game or two. And if you did it at Peters Park, you have 2 fields there, 40 people if we wanted,
They're neat ideas. We'll just build on them.
Okay, so motion to have staff research on the equipment swap donation.
Yes.
I think that's probably outside of the agenda item for special events. But I don't think it's anything that requires a motion.
Okay, so just go on. Go on. All right, number 19, new business. Under this Open Meeting Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda.
I think I have one. I'm working the concession stand. Can I talk about the? Okay, I'm working the concession stand at this little baseball clinic that they're doing, and I can't be there Friday, so I was gonna see if someone else on the board could possibly run it Friday evening. It's okay if you can't. I can find someone else, but I thought I would ask the board first. I don't know if anyone's available, or how. Or I also wanted to know who am I allowed to run it for me? If it's not
Mainly because we've had, outside of the board, we've had 2, they're frontier ladies, Gina.
Yeah, and I don't know if they can do
Gina,
Friday, but they've
Debbie.
said before that, if we need help somewhere, that they
So
would.
we have some people that said they would be willing to help out, but I didn't know the rules on that, and I didn't want to.
Somebody we trust, I guess.
Okay. And then.
I'd say at least let me.
I don't know if we trust them.
Yeah, and communication.
Right. Like I didn't.
What hours are you thinking? Friday?
So 4:30 to 7. Friday evening.
Is there anybody on the board that would be willing to go stand in? It would be good to have someone from the board.
That's why I wanted to bring
responsible.
it here first, before, and I can probably find
So
someone.
we keep it in the,
Friday, so I should be available.
What?
I could get off call. I'm on call.
Oh, you're on call for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I should be done Friday morning. I should be done, so I have Friday evening available.
Would you be able to be up there at those times?
Because, would you be able to just open it?
Yeah. I could run up there and open it. and then I could meet you afterwards and get the money box.
So that's what's been happening. She's been opening it for me while I get off work and get there. And then I take her the money box, she gets it to him in the morning. And I can walk you through what we've been doing, but we've had a little system.
You said
Would you come down
4:30 or
then? I would say on Friday to get it, the money box, that way.
Mhm.
Said I'll probably just come down that Friday night to get the money box, that way nobody's gotta keep it over the weekend.
Over the weekend? Okay,
I'll just come down around closing time and pick it up and
perfect.
put it in a safe spot.
How is the concession stand been going?
It's okay, it's good. I think I probably bought things that didn't work out because it's been so hot, so, but they're all things that we can keep. It's like popcorn, and the soda's not going because there are boys out there playing baseball, but I thought there'd be more parents. But all of that can keep for T-ball, so if we have T-ball games, it's all there. The fridge is working okay. It kept popsicles cold, which is impressive. We might have a donation of another fridge to go in there, so I think we have a good system going. I think we can look at the prices and maybe up some things here and there, but we're making like $80 an evening there's about 37 kids, I think, or 36 kids. It's a start. I didn't know what I was doing going into it, but I thought we might as well try. And then we can figure out.
Where is it at?
It's at Peters. Yeah.
And like we've also set up a donation box, so.
Yes, there's a donation box. We've gotten a little bit there. Something.
This just came to me as you were speaking, so I think it is new business, but I'm not sure what the possible use is of this money that you're raising. But I do think at some point in the future, they're talking about less fortunate kids, scholarship fund, you know, for kids that if their parents don't have the money, maybe that would be because I don't know that right now the concession stand's going to raise enough money to, you know, do like buy chain link for the fence or something, but it could make a huge impression in somebody's life.
So,
You know.
I like that idea. Are we gonna limit to how many we give out each sport?
We probably need to, and that'd be an agenda item maybe for September, or October. But, I mean, right now, yeah, I mean, I think somewhere, somehow there needs to be a limit. And then maybe some sort of verification process somehow, or maybe somebody could vouch or, I don't know. But I'd like to see a way for the less fortunate kids that maybe don't get to do things because they don't have the money, you know.
And so like those donations right now, are those just going into, where do those donations go?
We'll put them in a separate line in the Park and Rec budget. It could be called donations. And I mean, it may be donations. And then we could designate that, or, you know, you could recommend to us, let's, you know, put this in a scholarship
Fund, okay.
On donations, there was a couple of people who made donations online like a couple weeks ago. How do we know that those actually?
I got a receipt for them.
You can, okay, I was just
Yeah,
curious.
we reconcile every morning in the office on what online comes in. So he should,
Yeah, they normally just print off some
I
receipts.
mean, in
for
the
me
office
and let
they
me know.
will.
Mainly for me, I just want to make sure it worked properly. Like we told them how to
Do it
how to
properly.
how to get online.
I
and do
know
that
for
properly.
sure that two said that they had done one, so I just wanted to make sure that that all worked right.
Yeah, I could look up whether it went through or not.
Okay,
I'd have to know who they are, but I could look up if they went through or not.
yeah.
The other new business that I had, I don't know if it really is new business, but talking about like social media accessibility, like for the, like Facebook, like does it have to just be Rachel or you that is able to do that, or Eric that is able to post, or is that something like, you know, we could give a board member access to as well to help kind of regulate?
I wouldn't mind giving a board member, I think there's a Park and Rec Facebook, or there was.
Special
I
events.
just got put on it.
It's a very long name.
It wouldn't be, I don't know why people from the board couldn't be part of it.
And the only reason I say is it just, again, like this whole time, we didn't want to put anything on you, but trying to get like signups put out on Facebook, it was a process. Like this is what the post needs to say, here's the flyer, can you do this? I just feel like it might be easier if we did that as a board, like everybody agreed, like, let's put out a bulletin about workday or whatever, like put that out. And that's one less thing I feel like on making sure Eric's getting done, or, you know, it's something
Yeah,
that
we can look at that.
we could help out doing.
I don't know why it'd be an issue.
All right. Anybody else have any new business that they'd like to bring up or talk about?
We had a lot of people at the work days, and we wrote out thank you notes to send to them, like to each of them. So, you know, maybe they'll want to come back and help us again. So should we have everybody sign them? Do you want them to sign like Perkins Parks and Rec? How would we handle
Is
that?
that something we can do after the meeting or no?
Yeah, you can do it after the meeting. You guys sign them if you want.
And then if anyone has someone that donates something, or if you do, if you want to keep a list, like I'd kind of like to keep that going. And I don't mind to help write them. I just to kind of get those out there.
I think we're way off agenda, but I do want to say one thing. If people donate things, they can get a letter from the city on letterhead to use on their taxes that you could enclose in that, if there's a dollar amount associated with whatever they donated.
Okay.
Next agenda item.
All right, number 20.
Let me back up 1 second. These are great things to talk about. So before the next meeting, when you get a message, hey, is there anything you want on the agenda? Kind of go through your mind and see what rabbit holes we might go down and make sure they're on there.
Okay.
Number 20 is adjourn.
You have to have a motion?
I motion to
I
adjourn.
don't know why I don't think we do, but yes, that's fine.
The longest meeting you've ever had.
I told you, I was like, don't expect me to go first.
I'm gonna change my name.
His first words is, yep.
Okay, so it's over? We can breathe? I'll sign them, yeah.
You can put them down there.
Well,
Someone might.
sure.
You might just
Sign
put,
my name right here.
Agenda items.
Yeah, wherever I think is fine. I think I have one more though.